Hello, welcome back to another episode where being awesome is easy and Eddie is here to learn.
Excuse me? Eddie's here to learn.
Brought some Kleenex here today, Ed, because I'm going to make you cry. Gonna make you cry. This episode is so good. And
why am I going to cry about it?
Well, you know, we might just be
You're going to hurt my feelings?
We might be telling embarrassing stories.
Oh.
I don't know. Should we make that a segment?
I won't cry.
Embarrassing stories about Eddie.
I don't get easily embarrassed, so I'm not going to cry.
This is true.
No.
You do not get easily embarrassed because you also do not care at all what people think of you. That is your superpower.
That's my superpower.
That is one of your superpowers. You know, we have people that have just started their run, so we want to acknowledge you right now. Well done getting out there to train. For those of you that have just slipped into the seat, you're on your way to school, work. Hello. I'm waving at all of you that are actually on the treadmill, on the bike, at the gym right now. Eddie,
I'm
say
waving
hello.
too.
Yeah.
Is that... Yeah.
What was that? That was like double hand.
That's the double hand
I'm 4
wave.
years old. Did anyone see? I'm going to put the clip up right now.
The double hand wave.
The clip of Eddie sitting on the couch at Living Spaces. This couch is so gigantic that when Eddie sits on it, and mind you, this is the third time now we've been shopping for some couches because ours wouldn't fit up the stairs in our place. So we have these, you know, makeshift setup right now in our living room. So we've been shopping for couches for months, which is not Eddie's favorite thing. He does not like the furniture store. But right now, why is furniture so enormous? I mean, this video is cracking me up. I put it up, Eddie. I don't think the amount of people that responded.
Oh, really?
And the views on it was like off the charts. It was so funny.
What were people saying?
There was a handful of people who said they have that couch.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Or have bought something similar. But most of the people who said they had it, they all also said how tall they are and how tall their husbands are. All well over 6 feet. So
so it's for people that are tall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's for that. But I also think, we were talking about how we don't just sit around on the couch, but when we do, it's like we're genuinely lounging to watch a movie or watch sports. And so I can see how a big couch like that is comfortable for that. You can literally curl up in it because it's like a twin mattress. It's so deep.
Yeah.
But when you and Isaiah sat on it, because Isaiah is tall, I mean, both of you look like you were in kindergarten.
I felt like I was in kindergarten. Felt like exactly how it looks.
It was so good. But anyway, enjoy that little clip right now. And just enjoy Eddie and I on Spotify video. If that is where you're tuning in, or if you're tuning in on YouTube, thank you so much. We just want to thank everyone for being here. I need to give a shout out to everyone that's doing the mobility challenge. This is the March mobility challenge, 31 days of mobility. And I'll tell you what, Ed, the biggest message that I had, top 2 messages I had in there is, one was just the importance of mobility.
Yeah.
I was in the gym the other day, and I like to take a good amount of time on the turf. The turf area at our gym, they offer lots of different functional equipment, including they also have various sizes of dumbbells, kettlebells, lots of different plyometric blocks, elastic bands. I mean, you can do a lot and it's a big open area. So right now where I am in my training, I usually will spend 1 to 2 hours there before doing a run, just working on every inch of my body, trying to get strong, working on that balance and coordination. But I do spend a solid half hour on mobility. Mobility is so important just to our everyday life, everyday movement, how we feel when we just get out of bed, out of a chair. And so that's really why I put this mobility challenge together. I talk about strength so much, but mobility and strength really go hand in hand, and it is important. What I said from the beginning of this challenge was, I understand that adding one more thing into our day is sometimes difficult. So even if you were to split up the, 5 or 6 exercises to do them throughout your day, or if you could only get to 2, that is a win, because the second most important part of this challenge is just teaching yourself to be consistent. Showing up to do something every single day for 31 days, I'll tell you, you are going to reap loads of confidence, and it really is going to help change your mindset. It's going to give you that confidence to then go and do set bigger goals, try harder things. But confidence is really at the root. Consistency is at the root of all the goals and us showing up every single day. It's what separates people, when we look at people that are great in any industry, the people that are at the top, the people that are the most successful, the champions in sports, it's because they consistently show up. And I think we often tell ourselves that being consistent means that I am doing a 3-hour workout every single day, or that, if you're writing a book, it's sitting and writing for 5-6 hours every single day while working a job and raising kids and going to school and all the things. And that's just not true. It's just showing up and doing it, no matter what it looks like. So if it's for 10 minutes or 100 minutes, it's making sure that no matter what, you're showing up to do that. And that is the message that I put in the welcome video for the mobility challenge. Now, if you're listening to this and you're just now learning, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was a mobility challenge, it's always in the app. That's literally what it's called. It's one of the categories in my app. In the show notes, you're going to find that link there. I encourage you just to give it a go. But I'll tell you what, Ed, there's a lot of people doing this challenge, and it is difficult to stay consistent in this. So I want to cheer you guys on because we are on day 11. We have 20 more days of the challenge. Do your best to stay consistent. Put it on a Post-it note on your mirror. Make sure that you write yourself a text or an email or a reminder or an alarm every day that you need to do this, because it's so much more than the actual exercises. It's showing yourself that you can be consistent and continue to work through all the way to the finish line of a goal, no matter the circumstance. And the app, Eddie, I know we talk about it a lot in this podcast. This is also a great way to support me and Eddie's work. So we encourage you to download it, check it out. There's a lot of great stuff in there. We know that there are coaches that use it for their sports teams. We have soccer coaches that use it. We have cross country and track coaches use it for the whole team. So there is something for every sport, people of all ages, walks of life. And those of you that are just trying to stay consistent, there's something in there. So thank you for those of you that are already in there, and make sure if you don't have it, that you do check it out.
All right. Well, Sal, I noticed we got some mail this past week, and I definitely got something very special. And I'm going to just show everybody right now. I got Pringles socks. Look at this. How epic are these?
And it was a mom and daughter that picked those out. She said we could actually say her name.
Yes. So I'm going to thank publicly right now Scarlett, 10-year-old girl.
That's the name of our niece.
Yeah. It's a great name. Scarlett, thank you so much for these Pringle socks. Looking forward to wearing them. Maybe when I cruise Sally for Badwater, I'll be sporting these bad boys. But yeah, thank you for thinking of me, first of all, and for sending over some Pringle socks. It's very, very nice. And Mom, Michelle, gave us a nice little note. And so, I'm looking forward to sporting some Pringle crew socks.
We love hearing from the kids,
Yes.
and Ed, there's a lot of kids actually joining their parents for the mobility challenge. So shout out to all those
Shout
kids
out to the kids
that are doing that, and and all the kids that just think of us. I know we get that we've had kids draw us pictures and send them in the mail along with mom and dad's letters, and we read every single one. We see them all. Eddie has all the letters and cards we've ever gotten. He has it all organized in the office. We just got this shelf little unit where Eddie's going to be displaying all the gifts that have been sent to us over the year, because a lot of people have made us stuff.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of art sent to us, and just drawings and ceramics. It's super cool. So thank you. That means a lot to us. And those Pringle socks might also be worn by me.
Nope. Definitely, Scarlett, I will not let that happen. These are specifically for me. So thank you. Thank you. What about you, Sal? You got a nice little letter over there.
Yeah, well, I do need to give a big shout out. This one came by airplane. I'm sorry.
From the
I should
motherland.
say a lot of mail comes by airplane.
Yeah.
I wanted to say across the pond.
Okay.
From Scotland.
Scotland.
Which is I mean, that's
Macré.
part of our macré.
Yep, macré.
Also, my family as well. So Scott Irish is running strong across the table right here. You have been to Scotland.
I have not.
Wales.
I wish. I've been to
Wales.
Wales, yeah, but not Scotland.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
One of these days.
we've talked about wanting. I would love to go to Ireland, Scotland. There's a lot of great races there. There's some very long races there, epic races. Anything that goes past the 100, I just call them epics. And I would love to run through those beautiful green trails. But I do want to give just a big shout because it is a lot of effort to mail something internationally.
Mhm.
It's such a pain. You got to go through. If you can see, Ed, on the back of this envelope. I mean, she had to fill out a customs form, say exactly what was in it. It's a hassle.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, the written word is my favorite gift of all time. There is no jewelry, metal,
There's nothing better.
clothes, nothing.
No.
I think the written word is so powerful, and so I really do take it to heart when I get things like this, especially when it's overseas. It's so much effort. So,
and Sally also takes it to heart when you forget to give her the written word sometimes for birthdays, anniversaries. I'm just saying.
It was our 20th anniversary.
I don't know. I think
of all the time.
I don't know
that
if
we have
that's
been
correct.
together. We've been together since we were 19. Okay,
I think
our
you're making
20th
stuff
wedding
up.
anniversary. Eddie gives me cards just on the random. If I go on a trip, I find cards in my suitcase. I mean, he's amazing, very romantic, very kind. So do not take this the wrong way. But really, the one time you forget.
No, I didn't forget.
The one time you decide to not give me a card is on our 20th wedding anniversary.
I just knew that you were expecting it, so I was going to throw you off and not give one to you. Change it up.
That was the gift? Yeah. Like, you're just reminding me how mysterious you are.
You thought you were getting a card, but you don't know me.
My therapist said I need to keep mystery alive in our relationship, so I'm going to pull one over on her. We're not going out. She's not getting a card. I'm not going to tell her happy anniversary.
Oh, no, we went out and I told you, but just the card was...
the card was...
mysteriously not there.
And I was searching and I was looking.
You found it like a week later, though, right?
You pull it out from like a box, but like you had purposely like secretly gone in and like crumpled it up and stepped all over it. And been
wow,
like,
where's this been?
Where's this been?
There it is.
It must have fallen behind your pillow. I don't know if
that. So weird.
Oh, you guys, Eddie really has the biggest, sweetest, most thoughtful heart.
I really do.
No, you genuinely do. Out of anyone I know.
Thank you.
So was that completely not like you? It was. Was I sad for a hot minute?
Okay,
I was.
Let's move on to
let's hash it out on the podcast right now. Why not? This is a great time.
Let's move on to the Scottish mail.
We did have a great time, though.
We had a great time.
We did.
Yeah.
We always have a great time.
All right.
You're a great time.
I am. Yep.
This is from my friend Charlotte Lopez. Yes, you are my friend Charlotte. Charlotte is a former professional dancer. And she wrote a very kind, heartfelt note and included all these like really beautiful postcards, this art that's local to the area. But I'm not going to read what her card wrote. But I just want to say, Charlotte, I did get them. They're beautiful. I will keep these forever. And your words meant a lot to me. It warmed my heart. Maybe made me cry just a tiny bit. But I am going to recognize the gift she gave me that you don't get to have. It says, hand over your fairy cakes. And the is like the name of the brand. But the pin says, here for the snacks. And there's like candy and French fries and all these goodies on this little pin. And it's just the most perfect crewing pin.
Yeah.
So I might pin this on you at
I'll wear
Badwater.
that. I'll wear that proudly.
You got to give it back.
I'll wear it proudly.
Thank you, Charlotte, for the gift. Appreciate it. Big shout to everyone. I just want to give a big shout in the community. There's been lots of conversations in our Choose Strong Facebook community. We've been getting some great reviews in Spotify and Apple, and we just again want to remind you we read all of them, and it really does mean a lot to us. Mm-hmm. It also helps us out. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. Throw us over a review. It always helps out our work. And thank you in advance if you've already done that.
Yep. All right, we got a great episode today, Sal.
Such a good episode.
Share with the people what we're going to be talking about. Just give us a few sentences.
Today's episode is titled, all right, should we put it up like in text?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
The excuses, here's the title, Ed.
Okay, sure.
The excuses we tell ourselves and how to stop them.
Powerful. That's going to be good.
And,
it's going to be good.
And the little subtitle there is, I'm dialing in very specifically on your personal goals. Okay, so as it pertains to why aren't you working on your goals? What are the excuses that we tell ourselves? And for many of us, that's probably like where we all kind of connect. We've all told ourselves
in excuse land.
We've all told ourselves at least one of these excuses at some point in our life. And it's wild how we actually then start to make decisions and live by our excuses instead of the goals that we so desperately dream of and desire and want to achieve. And so that's what we're going to discuss today. But I'm going to throw it back over to you because I know you got some good stuff coming at us.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to read a Apple review. And this one is, many people think I wrote this, but you'll know I didn't write this, even though the name might refer, like the handle on Apple might refer to me, but it's not me. Okay. All right. The Apple review is by Captain Handsome. It's not me, I promise. I know people think
so
that's got to be Eddie,
like,
but it's not.
Oh my gosh, because
it's not me.
Everyone looking right now is like, that should have been your name. Like, who stole your name?
Perfectly.
Who stole it?
It's a great name, but that's not me.
Can we broker it? Maybe get it back?
Anyways, all right. Captain Handsome says, "This is my new favorite podcast. Sally and Eddie are an awesome team. Really interesting and inspiring, but also super easy to listen to. Hard to comprehend the incredible toughness and athleticism that Sally continues to demonstrate in her career, but at the same time, so relatable to all runners, no matter the distance or the speed. Thanks, Sally and Eddie." Captain Handsome.
Who do you think that Mr. Handsome thinks?
Captain.
Who do you think that Captain Handsome? I'm sorry, I was looking at you.
Yeah, well.
And since I call you that around the house all the time, Mr. Handsome, I just, you know.
No, I get it. True mistake.
When he said interesting, was he referring to...
Definitely me, because I'm not inspiring. So you are the inspiration. I'm the interesting.
Interesting yet humble?
Very humble and interesting. All right, Captain Handsome, we appreciate you sharing that. And
it's a kind word.
That was, yeah.
I'm just going to interject just really quick because I need just to remind everyone that's running right now that as you move along, and I hope that you've brought some nutrition, that you brought some hydration with you, make sure you're taking some little sips, you're taking care of your body. And whatever is ahead in your run today, whatever number of minutes you have, maybe you have a short recovery run, you might be on the bike right now or the elliptical or the stair mill, or you have a really long ride ahead of you. Just be right here in that mile or in that kilometer right now. Don't worry about what's ahead. We're just going to hang out with you right here. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We're going to do a little bit of highlights from the community. And the first one I have today is from Kyle Roguth.
He's laughing right now if he's listening.
Kyle
he's like, wow, they're butchering my last name.
Yeah, we always do.
You're going to hear from him on Strava.
I know.
He's going to give you a mini kudo for that.
That is a deserved mini kudo. Kyle, I'm just going to go with Kyle. Kyle in the Strava group said, from thinking my life was over and not sure how to move forward last July to picking up running as a way to cope and walk through things, I set a goal back then to run my first 50K with only ever running a 5K and having no knowledge of anything. I conquered that goal and proved to myself that I can do anything I put my mind to. Our bodies can go further than we'd ever know if we are mentally strong. Don't ever give up on yourself and always choose strong. Kyle ran the Tombstone 50K trail race a few days ago, actually, and crushed it. So Kyle, dude, well done. and stoked that you, went from thinking life was over in July to crushing a 50K. Pretty
Kyle,
sweet.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that was the review that you were going to share. That was very touching.
Yeah, it was
And I
awesome.
know that there's a lot of listeners that can relate to that.
Yep.
I had pitched a community question last week about running and what it means to
Yeah,
people
yeah.
in their life, and there's quite a few responses. People, it helps them work through life's
Mm-hmm.
heaviness and challenges and trials and those
Yep.
hard seasons. Just getting out and in that fresh air and sometimes that sunshine and feeling your body get stronger. And then hopefully Kyle was able to meet some good friends as he crossed that finish line. We're rooting for you, Kyle, and we do hope that you never feel alone or that life is over too soon. So thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, Kyle.
And congratulations.
Yeah, seriously.
Eddie, a 50K.
50
Ed,
kilometers.
Ed, what do you think about
I
that?
think that is impressive by the young man, Kyle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you
What do
you think about putting that on your calendar for the fall?
The fall of what? What year?
Of this year.
No.
And maybe allowing some people to join you.
It's not going to happen this year.
Eddie runs a 50K?
Mm-mm.
Eddie.
Nope. I'm not feeling it yet. I'm just I'm not there.
Right.
Can't commit.
And what? Oh, I can't commit or I will not.
Well, we're going to move on because this is getting too intense.
Yeah. For you need to have the desire to do it, not.
This is not about me. This is about Kyle right now.
Oh,
yeah.
I know that. I thought you were moving on to Mindy's.
No, we're missing
Mindy's message. Well, Kyle, I'll tell you this. If you want to respond to Eddie in Strava and say, "Hey, thanks for shouting me out. Also, you should definitely do a 50K."
Yeah. All right, Mindy. Mindy's next. Mindy Haas. Mindy Haas in the Facebook
Haas.
group. Yeah, I said that. Mindy Haas. I said Haas, like with a Z, but it's spelled with an S.
There's an S. Haas.
It's Haas.
Oh, we know that. We know
it's both Haas.
Haas families. Okay.
Right.
Also Haas. Okay.
Mindy says, ran my furthest distance ever yesterday in a 9-hour loop race, set the course record. Sally's words of wisdom about moving through the 8 stations quickly made it possible. I even found a crusty leftover quesadilla in my pocket this morning. This community is so encouraging. Thank you, Mindy. Well done on the, you know what? The quesadilla in your pocket the next morning is almost as impressive as that PR.
Okay.
So
it was a 9-hour loop course.
Yes.
And she won?
She did.
That's amazing.
She got the course record.
And the course record.
Boom.
Did she say what her distance was?
You know, I knew it was like 40-something miles.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's so fun, setting a course record, pushing your body to those limits. Mindy, hilarious about the quesadilla. I love that. I actually saw Isaiah pull out from his lacrosse bag.
Oh, gosh.
A Ziploc of rotten gels and a banana. Did you see that?
No, that's
sitting
disgusting.
in the mudroom.
I smelled it.
Sitting in the mudroom. It's just all black. That's not funny.
It's not funny.
That's different.
That's gross. Actually, Mindy's got a picture of her quesadilla, and
let's throw it up.
It's a day later, and it still looks really good. I'd eat that.
We're putting that up on the screen for everyone to see because that's Did you just say you would eat that?
Yeah, send it over, Mindy.
Wow, you heard it here, Mindy. He'll eat your rotten quesadilla.
I can throw that thing in the microwave, and that would be. I'm good. That's a good little snack.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Sal, that's all I got from the highlights from the reviews, and so let's move on.
Fantastic. Eddie, I just want to take a pause, and I would love to ask you about your goals. What have you been working on? What are the challenges? Do you have anything specifically that you're training for?
Oh, man. My goals are this season. Right now, I'm in a 12-week kind of like strengthening. Why are you laughing at this? I'm being seriously. I got a 12-week strength session going on at the gym. So I've been actually very committed to the gym. I've been going pretty consistently, and I've been putting on some muscle weight. I gained 3 pounds last month. So I went from, I'll just be honest, I went from 177 to 180. And I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
Well, you're looking pretty good too, babe.
Well, I don't know about that, but so my goal is to just continue to get stronger, be healthy, and I'm not training for anything. Yeah, so
you're training to keep that body
I'm
strong.
training for to
no keep race. Up with your son always trying to tackle you and throw you on the ground and wrestle you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the core, that's what I'm trying to be strong for.
Right. It's getting hard. He's been hitting the gym every day too.
No, he's still got I still got like 50 pounds on him.
I'm proud of Isaiah. He'll go to lacrosse practice for a couple hours, and then we'll get a selfie shot picture of him in our group chat, and he's at the gym lifting. And he told me the other day, he's like, Mom, I just need more protein and I need to eat less sugar and less Coke, Mom. I'm like, well done.
Well done.
Well done.
No, he's taking it serious, and we'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully it lasts for a while, but might change by next week. But I am proud of him too.
So your leg routine, you found a leg strengthening, or is it just total body strengthening?
Total body, yeah. No.
I know that you like to use my app because you get access to hundreds of other trainers. So you're going through another trainer for that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because I found you at the gym the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was I doing?
You were doing the leg press, and I snuck up behind you.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I
scared me.
Oh, I scared you. I just laid a big kiss on you.
Yeah,
when you were mid-rep. And you were like, who is this?
I was like,
there's a random stranger
this
girl.
happened again? What is going on? Wait, what? Oh, man, yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
You have been committed, though. You've been doing the sauna, so getting the body strong. Now, is this like base strength that will launch you into a particular training program for like running?
No, I'm just trying to get strong. Yeah, You're trying to weave in this 50K thing like every chance you get, but no, it's just to just be healthy and strong. So
okay,
yeah.
Eddie, I announced just a month ago that I got into Badwater 135.
Yep.
And that is the main goal that I have been working toward. I'm very excited about it. This will be your 3rd year crewing it as crew chief. And I'm just curious if going back for the 3rd time, if that frightens you, if you are dreading it, or if you're looking forward to it. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm excited actually to go back. It is a cool experience. It's always generates some fun memories, and spending so much time in a tiny car with the same people for 30 plus hours is always memorable. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to get out there again. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there are times where it's miserable for sure in the race, but when it's all said and done, you look back and you're like, oh, that was cool, that was fun. But I think it'll be different because this will be my 3rd time. So the first time that you ran it, me and the kids, we went out and spectated, got to see you finish. So we weren't out there for very long.
We have some pictures we're throwing up right now so you can see. Isaiah had that little cast, and the kids were so little.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in 2018.
Yeah, so the actual first time that I did it was when you won it, right? Yeah. So
that was the first time you'd ever been my crew chief. Yeah, so it was 2021. So
that's right.
That was a big deal. And so he takes all credit for that.
So I was going to say, I get a little bit of credit for that win.
I give you some credit.
So that one was interesting too, because, it was my first time at that race being a crew, but then you were also in the lead. So it was like, there was a lot of I don't know, emotion and anticipation of how it's, so I didn't really have a lot of time, downtime in terms of, oh, this sucks. I don't, I'm not having a good time. It was just dude, you're in first place. We're going to do what we can to get you, keep going. So that one, obviously was cool. The second one was during the Choose Strong project. So I kind of knew, what the race was all about, and that just had a different feel because it was part of a film and a project and stuff. So
a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, it was a little more relaxed. So Yeah, they were kind of very different experiences, to be honest. So the third one this time, I'm looking forward to it because I have a couple under my belt now, and I know what to expect. I know how you kind of run it, and what are some highs and lows of that race, and I can anticipate it a little bit better. And so I'm looking forward to it. So be good, be hot, but be good.
Do you feel that crewing and pacing Badwater is more difficult than, like, crewing pacing Cocodona?
Yeah, I think because the crew, like you said, goes like 1 or 2 miles max away, right? So in these 200s, it's like, hey, I'll see you in 8-10 hours, so I can go park my car in the shade and I can go sleep for 8 hours and get some food and
You
get
never
get
did that once
recharged.
ever
I
when you
I
crewed me
think
in 200s,
I think I
maybe
did
other
once,
people.
but the
I was always
option
asking, "Has
the
Eddie
option
slept
is there.
yet?"
No, I did. I did sleep. The option, in the 200s is there to do that. But in this race, you really don't have that option because, you know, it's so hot, and then you go, let's say you go 2 miles, and let's say that took you 20 minutes plus, a little over 20 minutes. And even if you decided, hey, I'm going to go and pull over and try to sleep, like you're only getting like 20 minutes until the back of the car's coming up because you're running over getting water, and that all that heat comes back in through the back and wakes you. It's loud, and you're just uncomfortable. So you don't really have that luxury of sneaking in 8 hours, 9 hours of rest to recharge, and so you're just kind of always on for those 30 hours, and it is a little stressful while you're doing it because you're looking after your runner who is battling this gnarly heat, and you want to make sure that they're got their their water, they're staying cool and stuff like that. And so there's that element where there's an added stress in that, where I think some of these 200s, it's like, okay, you're on this next 26-mile section where it's nice out, and, you're just going to cruise on this, whatever. So, yeah, so there's those elements too that make it a little bit different than crewing a 200. And, yeah, for that, yeah, for those are the reasons why it's a little different.
Mhm.
And yeah.
Once the race starts, you're on the whole time.
Yeah, there's really no downtime at all.
Chris Kosman, the race director, he used to allow every runner to have 2 cars. Can you imagine what that would be like?
Yeah, that would be nice because, yeah, one car can go for
Mhm.
a couple hours and tag the other one and say,
Yeah,
"You're it," for a little bit, and then get some
yeah.
rest and come back. So, yeah, that I can see how that would change the crew experience for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they only let 4 people in the car now too.
Yep.
So it is,
Which
it's limited, which
I
you
get.
don't
That
want more
makes
than
Yeah,
4.
you don't
It's
want much more than
rough.
4 because, yeah, with everybody's gear that you're hauling, and then obviously all the water and all the food that you need as a runner,
Mhm.
and all
But your
the
whole team
medical
needs all that
stuff.
too.
Correct, yeah, we
Yeah.
all have to eat and drink too,
Mhm.
so, and there's tons of ice. We need tons of ice at that
Mhm.
race. So, yeah, there isn't just a lot of extra room for bodies and people's stuff, so, yeah, 4 makes sense. Even 4 is tight, but
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be fun. Be good to get out there in July.
Mhm.
Toe the
So
line.
you are looking forward to
I am
it.
looking for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, the memories, it's always good. It's always good to get out there and connect with your crew and go on this little adventure with them. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It'd be good.
This episode is brought to you by Function Health. Function Health provides transformative insights into your body that go beyond what's available at a standard doctor's visit. And this has been a game changer for me. I got into Function Health this year, and it's been incredible. I've already had a couple blood tests. It's been very insightful. It's helped with my diet. And now that I am in full-blown Badwater 135 training, this type of testing is very, very important for me. So, Function is basically an all-in-one health platform. It starts with over 100 lab tests across your whole body every year: heart, hormones, liver, kidneys, thyroid, autoimmunity, cancer signals, toxins, nutrients. Lab visits are at one of 2,000 locations across the US, and it's just $4.99 per year. So basically, if you break it down per day, that's $1.37 per day. All results are tracked over time in one secure place with insights from top doctors based on your specific findings. Function is 5 times more testing than a typical physical and would cost you over $10,000 on your own. They don't try to sell you supplements or pharmaceuticals. There are no perverse incentives here. This is just the most powerful way to really own your health. You and your family should be on Function. And guess what? You can skip Function's wait list at functionhealth.com/Sally McRae. That's functionhealth.com/Sally McRae. This episode is brought to you by iRestore Illumina Face Mask. This is a great gift for yourself with the skincare glow up you actually deserve. So this just isn't a face mask. It's 360 medical grade LEDs of pure magic, which is double most other brands. So it hits your skin with red, infrared, and blue light all at once, tackling wrinkles, acne, and inflammation. Now, what I really love about this face mask is that I do not have to lay down to get the treatment. And it's only like 10-15 minutes. I can strap it on at night during my night routine, and I can lay out my clothes for the next day, or I can do laundry. It's very comfortable. And when it comes down to it, it pays for itself very fast. Because I see these red light facials, I'm starting to see those a lot pop up around town, and, they can get pretty pricey. So I'm really excited about this offer that I get to give to you, my listeners. It is for $205 off the Illumina face mask if you use code Sally at irestorelaser.com. That's $205 off the Illumina face mask with code SALLY at irestorelaser.com. And I would love for you to support our show and tell them that we sent you. Unlock your best skin with iRestore.
All right, let's move on, Sal. The excuses we tell ourselves and how to stop them. So the first one that I have here, I got 5. First one is, I'm too tired. That's an excuse that I've used many times in my life. But how do we deal with that one? I'm too tired.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive straight in. I wanted to make this like running specific. It can also be paralleled with like any goal that we're working toward. And we chose 5. These are some of the most common ones that we hear, whether it's in conversation, messages on social media. It could also just, these are things that Eddie and I have said to each other.
I've said all 5 of these. Yes,
I have too. So I think that listeners, you're going to find like, yes, I have said those things. And so I think this is where we're all connected and we all understand because we're all humans. So these aren't like so far off the deep end where people are going to really struggle to relate to these. But why don't you just read all 5?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, I'm too tired. Number 2, I'm too busy. Number 3, this just isn't the season. Number 4, I'm not capable or I'm not talented enough. And the last one, number 5, I feel like crap. I think I've said that one many times.
Yeah. So I actually should have put 1, 2, and 5 like all in a row because all of these have to do with, actually like the first, 1, 2, 4, and 5. So I'm too tired. I feel like crap, and then I'm not capable, I'm not talented enough. All of these are opinions and feeling based.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these are dangerous excuses. I've used all of these. I have not shown up or done things or because of these, especially when the kids were babies. And yeah, I think the first 5-7 years of being a mom, I think I was a zombie. I was always tired. It always came down to it was like, I'm going to either run tired or I'm going to sit down on the couch tired. And so I'm just going to pick and choose what I'm going to do. Right. So it just was learning how to move through things being tired. Now, I know there's we're not going to talk about sleep deprivation and not going to sleep and the health concerns that come with that. But I think just overall, just the feeling of being tired, as I said earlier, that's so common. It's you almost want to say like, hey, we're all tired,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
we all would love more sleep. We'd love to take naps during the day, and we all are doing our best to track that sleep and be better at it and better at our night routines. But I believe that these we got to be aware with how often we use these excuses, because once you have your favorite excuses, it's very easy to use them over and over again.
Mhm.
And so running our decisions based on our excuses instead of basing instead of basing them on our goals. And I think that is like the toughest decision that we have to make every single day. I'm going to do this not because of how I feel. I'm going to do it because I want that goal. The pathway to achieving anything, there's going to be an element of discomfort. There's going to be an element of pain. There's going to be some failures and setbacks and challenges. It's a part of achieving anything great. It's a part of achieving anything meaningful to you. And if you can remind yourself that on a daily basis, when you wake up and you don't feel good, you feel tired, you don't feel talented enough, you don't feel capable, remind yourself, oh yeah, this is part of it. That's when your next thought, your next reaction, what you do after that, that's where your character is built. That is then who you will become. Because not a lot gets done when you just think low of yourself. Not a lot is achieved if you keep telling yourself that you're not capable. If you keep telling yourself that someday, one day, maybe another time, maybe when I'm better, maybe when I'm more knowledgeable, maybe when I'm more talented, when I have more money, when I look a different way, when I'm smaller, when I'm stronger. Guess what? You don't get to say how many days you have. You have today. So today is the best day to work on it. And if you hyper focus so much on how tired you are, or how busy you are, or all the stuff you have to do, or how stressed you are, you'll probably only train a couple days a week. Consistently working on something, it doesn't mean that you then have to go out and spend hours training or hours sitting at the desk working on that book or that business plan or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. What it does mean is that you are going to stop all the excuses. You're going to put your hand up to the negativity and the low way that you're viewing yourself and the low value that you are giving. Because it's pretty amazing how easy we show up for other people when we're tired. We show up
Mhm.
for other people when we're super busy. We'll cancel other things that we had on our list to go do something else for someone else. And listen, as a mom, and Eddie as a dad, I understand this at my core. I know there's sports on the schedule. There's practices, there's tournaments, there's away tournaments. I know that starts to get into the schedule. That's your life. I mean, we spent most of our weekends of all of our kids growing up. I mean, Mackenzie's off at college now, but we still got Isaiah a year and a half in school. Most of our weekends are spent in sports. And it would be really easy. I know for me, it'd be very easy to say, I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I don't feel great. But what we can do is instead of giving an excuse about how we feel, ask yourself, what can I do? What can you do in order to show up? So yeah, maybe you can't go out and run the 15 miles that you wanted to run. Can you run 1 mile? Can you go do 1 mile? Because even though you might not think that 1 mile is going to matter, it does because you showed up. It matters to your brain. It matters to everyone around you that's going to witness that, because the most important thing is the consistency, not the duration. That you showed up, not the intensity. And when you do that over and over and over again, you're teaching yourself that your goals are valuable, that you are valuable. And if you are a parent, you're telling your kids that goals are worth fighting for. You're also showing your kids how to be flexible. Because I know Eddie and I, we love our kids. We love being on the sidelines. We love being together. Family is first. And so we show our kids, this is how you are flexible. This is how you remold your schedule. This is how you rework things and don't throw a fit when it doesn't go your way. The beauty and art of flexibility, of creating the life that you love that works for your family and your schedule, your school schedule, your work schedule. That's the beauty of living your own unique life. It does not need to look like what other people are doing online. It does not need to look like your next door neighbor or the seemingly perfect person online. It needs to look like your life. It needs to reflect your passions, your goals, and what you love. You are important. And the excuses that you tell yourself over and over again, it's just a waste of time. It is a waste of time to tell yourself these things over and over again. Are you going to have days where you just lay on the couch and I am just spent, I am so tired, I'm stressed out, I had a terrible day? Yeah, I've done that. So I'm not perfect. I haven't had perfect days of showing up every single day, but it is something that I strive to do, that I work toward, that I commit to every single day. I'm going to do whatever it takes to show up. I think it's also important that you remember what it feels like. If you are going to focus on feelings, go ahead and focus on what it feels like when you missed a goal, what it feels like when you stand at a start line and you are thinking back in your mind of all of the excuses you gave and now how you feel at that start line. And you might tell yourself, okay, next time I'm going to do better. We learn a lot in our setbacks and our failures when we miss those marks. That is how we become better. So don't think that that's all lost. Don't think that you still can't get to that start line because you missed all those workouts. That's actually how you grow. You embrace that and you tell yourself, you take responsibility and you say, I'm going to get better because I don't like how I feel right now. I don't like that I didn't show up. I don't like that I wasn't consistent. Okay, I couldn't do the 2-hour workout, but man, I could have done 10 minutes of core and I could have done some jumping jacks and running in place or plyometrics or some YouTube workout, HIIT workout. There's always something that you can do because you are worth it. And so the feelings should not dictate your goals. They don't get to. Your feelings come and go. Emotions and feelings and opinions, they change with the seasons. They change with the wind. How you felt when you were 5 years old about a goal is not how you feel today. And how you felt even 2 days ago, whether it was in your tiredness or your stress or your anxiety, I'm sure you have different feelings right now. And so remember that. Hold on to what is reliable. Hold on to what is true and what is lasting. And if that is that goal that you've been working toward for a long time, like it is not changed. If you've always wanted to get to the finish line of a 100-mile race, that finish line isn't going there. It's just waiting for you. It's just right there. Finish line's just standing there. And there's lots of different 100-mile races that you can try. And so don't base what you are going to do. Don't base your decisions on how you are feeling. And again, I feel this in my core. For those of you that are working all day, that have families and are juggling a lot, remember, you are still worth it, even if it's just 5 minutes. You deserve it. You deserve it. This is your one life. And I'll tell you what, nobody else is working on your goals for you. Nobody is waking up in the morning and saying, I wonder if John Doe is working on his goals today. I wonder if he's going to nail them. I wonder if he's going to check off that workout for the day. Nope, just you. And you get to own them. That's the beauty of it. This episode is brought to you by Badwater. Have you heard of this before? I've actually heard of this for a while, and I've been very curious to give it a try. And when they sent it to me, I noticed that there was a little recipe on the side to make a mud latte. Now, listeners, you know what a big coffee drinker I am. So, of course, I'm going to be a little skeptical, but I went ahead and I tried the mud latte. So I mixed a tablespoon of the mud water powder with some hot water, some creamer, and shockingly, it was really good. I like this stuff. Now, this is essentially a coffee alternative. So, if you find yourself yawning and tired, let's say like at 3 p.m., but you don't want to drink an afternoon cup of coffee, um, or maybe you've just had too much coffee or coffee jitters, you might want to give Mudwater a try. It's filled with really good ingredients too. You got chai, cacao, lion's mane, chaga, reishi, turmeric, cinnamon. It's amazing, and it gets your energy fix without your heart going crazy, without that jittery feeling. So, Mudwater is kind of like coffee's chill, yoga loving cousin who went on a spiritual retreat and came back more zen. But just kind of imagine being alert and calm at the same time while not having trouble falling asleep at night. So every single ingredient in Mudwater products are 100% USADA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. And there's also zero sugar and no sweeteners added, which I think is pretty cool. And for our listeners, this is extra cool. You guys get a nice little discount. So if you head over to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit, for a limited time, our listeners get up to 43% off your entire order. Free shipping and a free rechargeable frother, which I used, and it's a good one. I might get rid of my other frother because this one's really good. But just use the code STRONG, and that's up to 43% off your order with code STRONG at mudwtr.com. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Stay energized and refreshed all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than natural, delicious energy.
So feelings.
Feelings.
Don't base your decisions on your feelings.
Yes.
It's good advice. Good advice right there. What about this just isn't the season?
Yeah.
What about that one? Because that one is... it is different than feelings, but it's a valid reason, I think, because all the things you just said. You have a family, you work in 2 jobs, they got, the kids got sports, Saturdays are out, Sundays, I want to spend with the family, like, I don't have time to, it's just, there's this, maybe this isn't the season to train for this 100-miler, right? Like, so what do we do with that one?
Yeah, I think this will hit home even for our youth listeners, high school, college kids that they have these big pie in the sky goals, for themselves. I think of the young parents, especially the young parents who have just welcomed home their first child. It's different when you welcome home your third and fourth. You're like, all right, this ain't my first rodeo.
You're 2 weeks old. You can find the bottle yourself. Let's go, guys.
Right? You're in it.
Yeah.
So when you are in a season of transition, I think this is why we hear this so often. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of a move and I just changed jobs and I just broke up with my boyfriend. This is not the season to be training for this. As a mom of 2 babies, I remember thinking that too, when I was very frustrated that I couldn't train that I wanted to. And I remember saying this over and over again to myself. So again, all of these excuses, I have used all of these many times in my life. So my goal is just to kind of help you navigate. And your brain is so powerful. The stories you tell yourself, the words you tell yourself are very powerful. You end up leaning into scheduling your day in accordance to what you tell yourself. So if you get up and you're like, dude, I am so tired, today's not going to be a great day. Yeah, you're probably not going to have a great day. Probably not going to be a strong day because you decided to start your day that way. So it is a choice. These are the choices that we make as soon as we get out of bed. I don't feel tired, but today is going to be a great day. when it comes to the season, we're talking about variables that are very real, that exist for a lot of us. And whether that is, you're taking 18 units in college and you're working 2 jobs to pay for college, and you have very little time to sleep, or you have 4 kids at home and you feel like you live in the car because you're driving everyone everywhere, you're taxi mom or dad, on top of working. I think that this is a very valid reason.
Mhm.
However, there's a little tiny piece in here that I want to highlight, because I do feel, as I said earlier, the more you tell yourself these things, the more they become a part of your life and actually how you make decisions. And they also tend to dictate how you look at yourself. Because I know we've heard this before. It's really easy when you when you feel like you're in like an off season, or you're on vacation, how you're like, wow, I still like fill up my day. Like, how are my days still going by so fast? How am I still so busy? Like, this was supposed to be my vacation, or this was supposed to be like my off season. Or I remember this when the kids went to school. I used to fantasize about that when both kids would be in elementary school.
Yeah.
I literally believed that I'd have all this free time. No, I didn't. I had no free time. There's always something. There's always something that moves with you through the seasons, especially as a parent, as your kids get older. Like, you're taking care of a lot of stuff while they're at school that they need from you.
Mhm.
So whether it's washing their uniforms for the upcoming game, or I know for me, I loved when the kids were in elementary school being a room mom. So when they were in school, I just went and worked at the school, or I went to their field trips, or you're planning play dates, or you're planning birthday parties, or you're doing stuff socially with other moms. And it's just, you're always, it's very easy to fill time.
Mhm.
I don't know. Tell me the season, Ed, where suddenly we have nothing to do. I
Yeah.
guess maybe if for those of us that choose to retire, but I know some people that are retired that are very busy.
Mhm.
It's easy for us to fill the time. It's easy for us to find things to do.
Yep.
And so remember, when you say this just isn't the season, what are all the pieces that would make it the season? What season would make it a perfect time for you to work toward your goal? Now, in addition to that, now I'm not even going to touch on the fact that you really don't know the number of your days. So every time you say someday I'm going to do this, let me know when someday arrives. I would love to know what year that someday lands in, what day of the week someday is, what month in the year that someday is. Because I'll tell you what, when you keep telling yourself someday, one day, later on down the road, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And here is a better way to think about it. When we think about goals, and let's just use the running your first marathon,
Okay.
okay? I know we have a whole gamut of goals. I've told you this many times. Although I use running, most of the time it's a metaphor. So if you can think of any goal in your head right now, and whether that's you want to write a book, you would like to eventually change careers, you want to go back and get your master's degree, listen, you are the dictator of that timeline. I also want you to think about the role that patience and perseverance plays in attaining a goal. Because I think we forget that. Patience, perseverance, and planning. Those are 3 very powerful things. When someone tells me this just isn't the season, I I like to think in my mind that maybe there hasn't been some reflection on those 3 things. See, the thing is, you can spend 5 years in your quest and in building up to a goal of running a marathon. Did you know that? You can spend 10 years on that book. You get to be the one that plans that structure. And you might be thinking like, wow, that's a really big time frame, Sally. No, the thing that I'm pointing out here is that if you start now and you tell yourself that, if you said in 10 years I want to have my book finished, and so every day I'm going to write a paragraph. Does that sound doable to you? Or is your life way too busy right now to start working on your book, and if the template for writing a book was just write a paragraph a day and that was it, is that sound doable for you? Could you write a paragraph a day instead of doom scrolling on social media? Could you write a paragraph a day instead of watching another Netflix episode? And I'm not putting any of this down because I do all that too. I'm just saying sometimes it's just planning. It's the preparation. It's the patience. It's the perseverance. It's the strong P's right there.
Strong peas.
I'll tell you what, guys. You got to allow yourself to sit down and look at your day. Where are you spending your time? Also, get a good idea of what is needed in order to achieve a goal. So we can list all the goals that we want all day, but do we actually understand what is necessary? What plans we need to make? What preparations we need to make? What are the actual steps in order to achieve it? Because I'll tell you what, even in your busiest times, you can sit down for 10 minutes and work on something. And whether that is physical or it's a business or anything. I mean, if you are, I remember this because I had 2 emergency C-sections, and C-section was an emergency. I like to say it was a unplanned surgery. And so I went home both times with these newborns and stitches across my belly. And the recovery from that was not fun. And Uh, I loved working out before I had my kids, while I was pregnant, and after. And my rule always, and I remember I would sometimes look in the mirror and cry those first months after bringing home my kids because things just didn't look right. And I had that post belly, big belly, and then the stitches in my stomach, and I would think, how in the world am I ever going to run again? I would literally think that. There's no way I'm lifting anything close to what I could lift at the gym. There's no way that I could even run a mile right now. And I was right. I couldn't. I had to heal. And so I allowed myself to very patiently and slowly build up. I didn't need to answer to anyone. I wasn't on anyone else's timeline. And so what would I do? I'd go on little walks. 10-minute walk would start to build to a 20-minute walk. And you know what? I took my time building up. How long did it take me to write my book? 20 years. 20 years. Did I want it to take that long? No. I would have liked to write it faster. And I'll tell you what, if I plan to write other books, I'll know what to do better. I'll know how to plan better. I know how to structure it better. I know what's going to happen. I know all the steps now. And I think that's something that we can give ourselves. Instead of telling yourself this just isn't the season, ask yourself, what can I do? I think ignoring the preparation and what is needed in order to achieve a goal is what makes us feel like it's not our season. We have this. If I'm going to say that I want to run a 100-mile race, well, I got to do it within 6 months. No, you don't. No one ever said that. Tell yourself that for the next 6 months, and especially if you're that mom or that dad that's driving around kids all over the place, for the next 6 months, I'm just going to make sure that every single day I move for 30 minutes. I'm going to start working on my aerobic base. I'm going to start working on just basic fitness. That's amazing. So that when you are a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger, you can slip right into a training plan. So your season is now. And that goes right back to what we had talked about earlier. The consistency is about just showing up every day and doing something. We don't know how long our season is. We don't know the number of our days. We don't know when we're going to get another chance. But I'll tell you what, every single day is a new day. You can't change what happened yesterday. You can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, in 2 years. You can dream and fantasize all you want, but what you have to do is today. What you are given, the moment that you're in, that's it. It's now. And so if you finish this podcast and you're like, hey, I'm going to go work for 5 minutes on that, that's a win. Well done. Make a checkbox, make a list, put a Post-it on your mirror, track your goals, make plans, plan out your steps, prepare, and be okay with being patient as you with perseverance, work toward that goal every single day, even if it takes you 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If your entire life is about working toward these things that you love, if your whole life is working towards being a better version of who you are, being the best that you can be, discovering what you're capable of, discovering what you are able to do and what you're able to see and the people that you're going to meet, what an amazing life. Every day you're moving forward and you're working towards something. So you know what I think of the excuses? And this is a message for myself too. Excuses do not get to dictate our life. And there is no value in excuses. But there is value in your life, and there is value in what you desire, what you're passionate about, what you love, that thing that you're thinking about all the time that you've always wanted to try, that you always want to do. What's holding you back? Is it you're too tired, you're too busy, it's not your season? Erase all that. Just give it a try. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Do something. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it because you are valuable, and there's only one you. Don't forget that. Eddie, do you want to add anything to our excuses and how to stop them? Is there any way that you like to stop excuses?
Nope. I wanted to reiterate patience, perseverance, and planning, though. I like that. The three P's.
The 3 Ps.
3 P's. Yep.
They're overlooked.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, we talk a lot about setting goals that scare us. You know, that's like, it's because it's just like, it sounds like so awesome, you know, set a goal that scares you, you know, and it's just, your goals aren't big enough. I think we need to be okay. Patience, it's just not a sexy word.
No.
You know, what's your strong point? I'm patient. It's like, but I'll tell you what, patience and perseverance, man, you're in for the long game and you will achieve a lot that way because you're just always working on something. If you're okay with being patient and you're okay with just persevering no matter what, you're never going to quit.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's just amazing. You and I were talking about this the other day. We were talking about musical artists. And so often you read about somebody making it big. They finally hit the charts. Their album went platinum, all this. And we as a society, we learn of someone's hit song only after that band has been working for 10 years. You know, you hear of these bands. Goo Goo Dolls is a great example. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before, but Goo Goo Dolls is a great example. I mean, they were together for a very long time. Before, what was their one album, Dizzy Up the Girl, that just skyrocketed. That album was so popular. But it is pretty incredible to think that the patient, quiet work, just persevering, showing up in the garage to play with the band over and over, year after year, for a decade before they actually made a song that people would listen to and pass around to their friends.
1986 is when the Goo Goo Dolls started, and then 1995 is when they released their breakthrough single, Name. 1998, Iris. So yeah, I mean, that's, 10 years putting in the work to finally get noticed.
Eddie, there's countless examples of that. I think one of my favorites I like to think of is Colonel Sanders KFC.
Oh, yeah.
He started that. He was way late in the game. And I have a whole list. I actually I've kept this list. I found this article in Time, and it was just so inspiring. And it basically highlighted all these people who had achieved these monumentally great things that like everyone in society knows about later in life, in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And I think that as you are running along or you're lifting or driving, if you're still watching us here on YouTube, I just want to encourage you. It is never too late to dream. Every day is your opportunity, and every day is your chance to try something. You will not be out of your busy season anytime soon. Eddie and I can promise you that now, as we are considered older parents. We thought when the kids would go to school that things would be less busy. Yeah. Okay, once they're out of elementary school, okay, that was a lot. There was a lot of like school activities and, all the play day, all the things that come along with the elementary school years, which are so much fun. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, my favorite years. But then they get to middle school, then they get to high school, and now even with Mackenzie in college, it doesn't end.
Mhm.
You don't progress through life less busy. And I think that was something that we believed for a long time
Yeah, for
was
sure.
was we'll just wait till we're less busy. Now, I I think that when I look back on my life and how I worked toward things, scheduling, when I trained, when I would write, I was always moving that around. My structure was constantly changing
Mhm.
because, I know I've told this story a few times. It was that moment that I had when Isaiah crawled up with onto my lap and gave me this big sloppy kiss on my cheek when he was like 10 months old, and I was having a rough morning as a mom with two babies in diapers and just thinking, man, I'm really tired. I'm really run down. And there's these things that I want to do and I can't. And then it just hit me. This is the greatest gift of my life.
Hmm.
I mean, I've always wanted to be a mom. And nothing else has fulfilled me the way that being a mom has. Like I absolutely love that role. And so that's what the wrestling was. The wrestling was I love being a mom. And there's these other things that I really love too. I don't know. I just don't, I can't do both of them. And I think that was when I had that moment. It was like, well, I, nobody's dictating my dreams.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna try and make this work that is the most true way to my family, to our life, to our schedule, to our kids, and it's gonna be really wild and crazy and weird, and I've never stopped from that. The way that I train is unconventional. The way that I do my schedule, how I sleep, the way that I break things up. If any coach were to come and look at my training any given time, and I've had 3 coaches and they've all said the same things. They think I'm crazy, but I look back on my life and I think I've also achieved more than I ever thought possible. Because in my mind, I thought, I'm going to make it work for the unique life that was given to me. And it doesn't need to look like every other textbook. It needs to look like Sally McRae's life.
Hmm.
And I think that that's the encouragement that I want to give you guys today. Build the life that you love that absolutely looks like the one unique gift of a life that has been given to you. And it's okay that you have setbacks and frustrations as you carve that out and you figure things out. I didn't always get things right. I didn't always have good balance. Things didn't always turn out the way that I wanted to. I didn't always show up to the race totally prepared. And it was through the constant failing and succeeding that I was able to grow and build something. I'll tell you what, I'm still doing that today. And it's been a wild ride, but I wouldn't change it for anything because I know very well, as someone who, grew up with a lot of fears and anxieties and, for a good portion of my life, thought nothing of myself and really didn't think my life was worthwhile. I'll tell you what, I feel that all in my core. But man, just being able to try every single day, I mean, the freedom to just try something and to figure it out, I never thought it would lead me to here. I didn't have any of this plan. I mean, I remember, getting handed my diploma graduating from Biola. I had no idea what I was gonna do, and now look at where we are. And so whatever you're working toward, know that we work on things, and sometimes it's to be used for something greater. Maybe it's just that one trait that you need to develop. And I say one of the most important ones is consistency. It's that patience, that perseverance to never, ever, ever give up.
I like it. The excuses we tell ourselves and how to stop them. Boom, done.
Boom,
Checked it
done.
off. Hope that encourages y'all that are coming up with these 5 is maybe more than these, but solid is good stuff.
And I love too that you and I agreed. We're like, wow, we've all said these to each other.
Oh, yeah. Yep. More than once.
Yeah,
Yep.
many times in our lives. I think especially when the kids were little.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
And so that's where the passion comes from. We understand.
Hmm.
Eddie and I are not perfect by any means,
Nope.
and we're trying and we're grinding right next to you. And we're always cheering for you. We're proud of you. If anyone If no one's told you that today, we are proud of you. So keep going. And Eddie, what do we always say at the end?
Keep choosing strong in all that you do.